You know, when you can't win an argument with facts, you find an expert who will say the facts however you need them said. And look, normally an expert, they've got a degree, or several, a title, or maybe tenure somewhere. And this time, the Justice Department's expert has 19 confessed hits. Yes, hits. And he has his own podcast. How cute. And look, this came after James Comey's legal team filed a wall of pretrial motions this week, and buried in the backup is maybe the single most unhinged paper trail I have ever read out of a federal prosecution. And I want to start with why we're here to begin with. Remember, Comey posted that picture of seashells on a beach arranged to read 8647, and the DOJ, they said that was a coded threat against the president. 86, slang for getting rid of something, often used in the food industry to say you're out of a certain ingredient or meal. And 47 is the president's number. But in the mob, apparently, getting rid of someone is kind of like taking care of someone or 86ing someone. And that's what the DOJ is counting on proving in court. And so how do you prove that a photo of shells is mob code? The DOJ went and found mob guys. And prosecutors, according to these court filings, searched old Gambino crime family trial transcripts looking for the term 86. Then they went and interviewed retired FBI agents about whether the mob used 86 that way. They ran Google searches. Then they turned to AI. And according to Comey's own filing, the government's AI searches came back debunking the theory. Hell, one of them even cited Merriam-Webster. And the government's AI searches tanked their argument before it even started. So when the robots don't cooperate, you go old school. You call up Sammy the Bull, otherwise known as Salvatore Gravano, that is, the underboss to John Gotti. And this man pled guilty in 1992 to participating in 19 pew-pew murders. He admitted to bribing a juror in Gotti's first trial. He did federal time. He left witness protection and then got convicted again in 2002 on narcotics charges with his wife and kids. It's a family affair. He was released in 2017 and he's currently on parole. And currently, according to Fitzgerald's own footnote in this filing, he's a podcaster. And that is your government expert. That is who the FBI called in to explain what 86 means. And Gravano, bless him, actually gave them a straight answer. Sure, the mob used it that way, but he also told the agent he had no vendetta against Comey, didn't care if Comey went to jail or walked, and then added this detail. And this should have ended the case right there. Mob guys actually saying 86 didn't happen much, especially around cops, precisely because cops figured that they knew what it meant, which means finding documentation of it anywhere was always going to be close to impossible. The government's own witness told them that their evidence couldn't exist by design, and they used him anyway. And so look, if a federal case needs Sammy the Bull and mob transcripts and AI searches that argues against their own case just to get off the ground, do you still trust the presumption that this DOJ investigations start from evidence and not from weaponizing the government, not starting at the conclusion? So tell me your thoughts in the comments. But this whole story gets much darker before it gets a little funnier again. Because buried in this same filing, the number 3 official at the DOJ ordered Secret Service to surveil Comey. And they even acknowledge internally, the DOJ does, that it was illegal for them to surveil him. And then they followed him and his wife to visit the grave of one of their children. What the hell? Seriously? They illegally followed James Comey and his wife when they visited their child's grave over an effing seashell post. And Donald Trump, according to the filings, personally demanded updates on this investigation and surveillance. These people are sick. Absolutely disgusting. But fortunately, Comey's team, they went further in on their fight against this bogus case. because in a separate filing on Tuesday night, they accused Trump and his DOJ directly of selective and vindictive prosecution. You don't say. And they laid out that this is the second indictment that the DOJ has gotten against Comey in under a year, both at the president's direction. The first collapsed because the U.S. attorney who signed it was installed unconstitutionally. Trump fired the attorney general over that and then tried again. 2 indictments against one man because of one president's tantrums. 0 mob linguistics experts who actually helped their case. And look, Donnie Boy, he never loses. He just keeps trying until he finds a friendlier referee. And by the way, prosecutors also subpoenaed Amazon for records of 8647 merchandise. The response, according to the filing, the feds had never once asked about that merch before deciding they were going to try to indict Comey. And just so we're clear, their key source originally thought that 86 meant the restaurant thing. But he only changed his answer after watching a Rudy Giuliani interview.
You know, I'm going to tell you the truth. If I saw it, I didn't know what it meant until my boys told me. If I saw that, I would have rubbed it off of my feet. I thought it was a license plate number or something, or somebody's PIN number.
Right.
How do you know that had political implications? It only has political implications if you know it means 86, 47, Donald Trump. And apparently now I've seen all kinds of examples of it and been educated. So I think, once again, you know, he often does this. He gives himself away.
So you have Rudy Giuliani explaining mob slang on TV to help build a federal case over the president's personal vendetta. What a time to be alive. And frankly, guys, independent media like us, we survive on your interactions. So do me a favor, drop a comment, tell a friend about this story. Keep an eye on stories like this because a trial built on this shaky of a foundation, it's not going to last long.